This episode of XIV Reborn is brought to you by Audible. For a free 30-day trial and to receive a free audiobook, head on over to audible.com/gamebreaker. I'm so effing boss, I level backwards!
I'm so boss, I can't copy paste correctly.
What's up, Final Fantasy XIV fans? We are again, you're watching Gamebreaker TV. This is episode 12. Wow, it's only 12? I feel like I've been stuck with you guys for like 9 years. Holy shit. What the hell's going on? Not the chat room, these other clowns. XIV Reborn, episode 12, October 15, 2013. Coming up on today's show, we got 2.05. That's the patch. It went live today, so we're going to talk about that. New York Comic Con gives us some amazing, awesome sauce, unbelievable PvP of amazingness shit. And transfers are live, but be careful with the rules. All that and more, but first, joining us as always, Mr. Mike Byrne. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, sir. Yourself?
Awesome. Can't wait to be talking about some XIV. You know I want to talk about some PvP, don't you, Mike Byrne?
I know you're pumped about it. I'm still kind of...
That shit looks slamming.
We'll see.
And you have a thumbnail right there.
And joining us always, Mr. Happy. How are you, sir? Michael Poveromo. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, Gary.
Wow, you sounded so not excited to say that.
Well, I was still laughing about the whole level down thing that I couldn't really get my words out properly.
Gotcha. Just take him back.
Resisting so hard. I was like this the entire time. The camera was on Mr. Byrne.
All right, let me get some stuff out of the way before we get the show started. Got lots of kind of quick things to talk about. First of all, stay tuned for later in the show for the live peeps. If you're watching this on the download, sorry you missed it, but going to be some fun after the show today. So stay tuned right after the show. Don't click away. That's first of all. Second of all, the Gamebreaker Nation. You guys have been wondering what's going on with the Gamebreaker Nation. A couple things. One, I would advise you to go watch the GBN cast, last episode of last Friday. I talked a lot about the Gamebreaker Nation, and the big news is that you guys have been hearing me talk about it for a long time, and it was going to be subscription-based, but the big news that I revealed last week is that it's going to be free. Yes, it is going to be free. The Gamebreaker Nation is going to be free. The website is not finished yet. Still working on it. If you guys want to put in your email address to get updates, go to GameBreakerNation.com. Make sure to put the www. There's a little problem right now. If you don't put the www, you're going to get a little clever girl message. Put www, GameBreakerNation.com. Put in your email address. And we'll get you more information as things go on. But we're getting close. We're getting close on the website to get that done. And we're going to open up that as soon as possible. We've kind of been doing some fun things like our, we've already opened up our Mumble server and been doing Mumble bombs. We did just in pre-show just before we started today. So a lot of the Gamebreaker Nation peeps are already, wow, it really blew up. Wow. Since I last looked at it, it's kind of packed. So there's a lot of people already hanging out in the Gamebreaker Nation, even though we haven't officially launched. We're slowly kind of trickling things in. So go watch the GBN cast, more information there, and there will be more GBN casts to keep you guys informed about what's going on with that. One other quick thing, we are looking for more Gamebreaker Nation officers and event planners. I know we just signed somebody up, another person up for Final Fantasy, but if you are interested in helping out as either a guild officer or an event planner, we could always use more help in Final Fantasy or another game you may be playing as well. So I guess the best place to probably get in touch right now would be submit@gamebreaker.tv if you're interested in that. Send an email to submit@gamebreaker.tv. Missy will be so kind to get back to you and chat with you about that. Now that's out of the way. Oh, I should talk about the stream team. We have a Gamebreaker Nation stream team. I'm going to pimp that channel. That is at twitch.tv/GBNation. And we will get that up and running as soon as possible. It's up and running now, here and there, and maybe here or there soon. So I don't even know what that means, but so if I don't know what that means, you definitely don't know what that means. Anything else? Solid. We're ready to talk about patch notes?
That seems solid. I think we're good. I think we're good.
Did I cover everything?
We did. You did. You got it.
All right. Patch 205 dropped today. Maintenance went down last night, went through the night, and this morning it dropped. So, what do we know? We know that server transfers were a part of this update, but that is not working as intended. As we covered on XIV Nation, something is amiss. Something is not working correctly. They are investigating the problem. So as of right now, I don't know if there's been any update. Has there been any update?
The latest update was actually worse than the initial update. So there's an issue with the data retrieval part where it actually grabs your character data. And they think it has all to do with how many people are obviously requesting the service. So if you get that error, they're asking just chill, wait. It'll put you in a queue, which will most likely do nothing, but just chill and wait. They need 12 to 24 hours to investigate this, and they're probably going to reevaluate the free transfer period once they have this all fixed. So
ouch.
We're going to talk about the transfer restrictions later in the show, but as far as being able to use it, probably tomorrow at the earliest is now the new drop dead date.
Ouch. Okay, well,
yeah.
Sure.
When it rains, it pours, huh?
We can wait a little bit longer for that. So that is not yet implemented. But I don't know. Let's talk about the patch notes. I mean, one of the things that comes with them is every patch, is a lot of bug fixes and things like that. This patch had a ton of them. We obviously can't go through everything here on this patch list because it's big. But I want to talk about this patch first of all. It says an issue where the monsters in the instanced dungeon, the Binding Coil of Bahamut, turn 5, became immobilized under certain conditions.
Carrie, you whipped out the epic voice there on the Binding Coil of Bahamut.
Thank you. Practicing. Looks like they fixed your issue, Mr. Happy.
He looks thrilled about it, too.
He does. He's face palming. And now he's giving me the stink eye.
All right. Let's just say this. Since the patch came live, Twintania has been killed with a bug of immobilizing her. By a JP group.
Oh, nice.
So expect it to go down in the very near future again.
Fun times. So I should say not back up and running as normal?
It may not be the same immobilization bug, but there's one still there, at least one. So, yeah.
Derp.
It's not fun.
It's not good.
No, not at all.
Can we narrow it down to knowing that there's it seems like there's only one last immobilization bug that's possibly in there, or can we actually tell if there are more than one? I don't even know how you actually differentiate that.
There were 3 previously, I believe. As far as we know, they at least got rid of one of them, and there's still one left. I'm obviously not going to say how to replicate it.
Sure,
but it doesn't seem like something that's that difficult to fix. Maybe they just missed it because it wasn't as common as the other ones. There was one that was really rare and 2 that were really easy to replicate. I think the one that was really rare might be the one that got left out.
So there were 3. You can confirm that one is fixed. We don't know. We know one is still in the game, and we don't know about one. It could just be rogue code laying around, running rampant.
Pretty much, yeah. That's where it stands right now.
Fun stuff. Fun stuff.
I look thrilled, don't I?
Yeah, you
well,
really
and this
do.
doesn't even address the fact that last week you speculated, you didn't want to, understandably, right? You didn't want to put your thumbprint on maybe this hasn't been beaten because there's another bug that has nothing to do with this. But from the patch notes, there was nothing else addressed but the immobilization bug. So it kind of leads me to believe that besides this immobilizing thing, the fight is working as intended. People just can't beat it. Do you still feel the same way?
Nope. We've confirmed a few more bugs. There are still a few accepted bugs that haven't actually been moved to confirmed or anything yet, so they're still just accepted and not actually passed on to the developers yet. But we experienced 2 bugs today at 7 a.m., so when the servers came up 2 hours late. So we can say there's still work to be done on turn 5. I'm not saying a group could totally beat it with complete luck.
Yeah.
And obviously some skill involved, but there is still a chance a group could beat it with luck. But there are issues that need addressing. If less than 100 people beat it before 2.1, it'll be because of a bug and not because of the actual fight mechanics at this point, in my opinion.
All right, so turn 5 not working as intended. So got to keep
Just
up on that
challenged
one.
Yoshi P to an arm wrestling match.
He threw down the gauntlet right there.
Let's
He's
go.
like, here, I'm
Let's
throwing
go.
it down. So some other key bugs were fixed, like Duty Finder, throwing players into groups where dungeons were already done, and a few other big deal items.
That's an awesome one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great
After
one.
you queue up and wait for an hour and 20 minutes, and you get thrown into a group that's complete.
Hey guys, hi. Oh,
Oh,
bye.
sorry.
All right, I'll see you
Bye.
guys later.
Hang on. Let me take another hour to
Yeah,
sit in this
that's
thing.
definitely great that one's gone.
What
Oh,
else do you
yeah.
guys want to talk about? I mean, there's like I said, we can't sit here and go through everything. What else were the big ones you might want to talk about? Anything missing from the list that you kind of really thought should be in here?
Missing? Maybe the 30 buffs, debuffs for me. That's still an issue if there's too many buffs or debuffs on a target that none of them they stop applying.
Mhm.
However, on the flip side, your buffs and debuffs that you apply to players and enemies are now forwarded to the very front. So if you're a summoner and you have your 3 dots up for you, they will always appear on the far left-hand side of the target bar. So they're much easier to track now than when they were all over. That was by far my favorite fix for the entire thing. And I'm not gonna do another one. I had another one that was right up there with it, but I'll let Burn go because I know he's
Yeah,
got
because as soon as you said it or pre-show, I was like, no, you can't take that one. That's mine. My favorite fix here is that you can no longer create more than 8 characters within a 24-hour period.
because the
What?
Apparently, this was it was like jammed in there too, like real close to the bottom of everything. Like, you know, they did call it out with a red footnote saying this is because we have verified that RMT are creating massive amounts of characters
Sure.
and blowing through low-level stuff and compiling big hordes of guild this way, which, damn, I wish I would have thought of that a little earlier enough. I'm paying for the extra characters, right? So I could create some more characters, but they must have been really blowing through them because now you can only create 8 in a 24-hour period.
So somebody in chat brings up when you do unlock the crafting classes, you do get a fair amount of shards. They were probably blowing through those quests specifically just to get like maybe 1,000, 1,500 shards. I know on my server they go for $2.80 each because I get tells every day about it.
Hey, that's great. RMT has the same rates on my server too. Awesome. Great. So there's no inflation anywhere. Good.
No,
Burn,
absolutely not.
anything Burn, anything sort of missing on your list that you really kind of think needed to be addressed in 205?
Yeah, actually. There's one thing we're going to talk about, which is a good part of this, my topic. But the bad part of this is I wanted to see tomestones of philosophy and mythology be opened up in more places, not just the drop rates changed in certain places that they already were. Not too many. I mean, there's only a couple of places they could put them that makes sense. So we're going to see that in the future with more options as far as farming them up. I wanted to see 1 or 2 now to help the whole Amdapor keep pile up, but I guess they feel like they've done enough to alleviate that pile up now.
Mr. Burn,
Yes,
are
sir.
you not aware that Wanderer's Palace now gives 30 mythology points?
No. I'm talking about the ones that we would not have expected because we've already speculated.
Okay.
Keep and Wanderer's Palace should both have those and should both have higher amounts. I was talking about other instances that I would like to see also drop them.
Okay.
So.
All right, on to some content changes. One of the big ones is the next event, which starts late this week. It's called All Saints Wake. Apparently, obviously, is a Halloween-themed thing going on here. We got a coverage over here on Gamebreaker Nation. Fix that for you. So, kind of a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe going on here. What's the deal here, though? Is this event like? Is this one a little bit more involved than the crazy bondage swimsuit event?
You didn't like my all leather gun holster / swimsuit outfit?
No, not really. No.
Oh, I thought I looked right sexy. All right, that's the way it's
If
going
you
to
had
be
a gag
between
ball
us.
in your mouth, that's all you're kind of missing.
All right, so that's the way it's going to be between us, Gannon.
Mm.
All right. Well, yeah, this one's we don't know a ton, but it should be about the same as far as being able to grab some costumes, in particular the ghosty type stuff. You're going to talk to an NPC, do a quest or two, and get a costume. Now, whether there'll be more than that, we don't know yet. This is a 1.0 event, though. So, Mr. Happy, did you ever take part in this back in the day? Was there anything more than a quest and a costume then?
I remember handing in a lot of candy or trick-or-treating of some sorts because I have 3 of the pumpkin heads that you saw in the picture previous to this one, standing next to the ghost. I have 3 of them. I don't really remember how I got them though. It's all a blank memory to me. But if I had to guess again, based on the fact that I was handing in items, I'd likely link it to a fate. It's very similar to the ash that we were using for the swimsuits. So
everything is kind of going to be the same as the swimsuit event. I still want to see more in these events, and maybe that's just me being greedy, but I know it's early.
Being greedy, but you've
launched,
you do also play a bunch of other MMOs, and you're used to what some of the other companies out there are doing for events, and some are pretty damn good. I mean, people are getting, the companies are getting really sort of intricate and not really treating some of these events as just sort of like filler fluff kind of content. Some of them are really creating, like Guild Wars 2 comes to mind, creating some really good engaging content. You think they're kind of just phoning it in here? Do you feel like they should be kind of stepping up their game?
Yeah.
I think so, but for now, at least until post 2.1, I'm going to give them the benefit of, based on the release date of the game being August 27th, these events had to be pretty much finalized by launch, right? If they were going to get them in for year 1, they had to pretty much have them done by launch date to get them prepped and ready to go. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a pass here and say that these are probably just, hopefully, these are just like little placeholder events to show that, yes, we do intend to do this type of thing. And even though we just launched, we have some this year. But in the future, I would really like to see these a little more in-depth than just go do a fate. After you do it twice, come back with whatever the hell it dropped, and we will give you your costume of choice.
Now, we're also going to get our free Cactuar and bomb earrings, right?
Yes!
Yeah!
Did either of you pick yours up yet?
I did. I picked up... Did you?
Yeah, I did indeed.
Oh, yeah. They cost you money, Gary.
What?
Yep.
My free earrings?
Yep, your free, air quotes, earrings. Free earrings. Now, to be fair, I did go back and look at, like, Bayonne's earlier posts and stuff, and they didn't technically say the word free, so they cost 1 gil a piece.
Oh, breaking the bank.
I know.
Damn.
Seriously, though, there are people that are actually pissed off about this. To me, it's nice to finally have something to do with that 1 gil from Amdapur Keep. So that's really nice.
Hey, don't diss the gil. You don't know how much it drops now.
Yeah, the drop rate is way up there now. But
yeah,
so it is nice to have something to do with that. Can't take credit for that, by the way. It's XIV Nation community members joke, but it was too good not to say. So yeah, 1 gil a piece. There are people actually pissed off that it's cost you 1 gil, though. To them, I say, tough shit.
And if they would have given you the earrings and given you 1 gil, people would have been pissed off at that as well. So
exactly.
I don't want that 1 gil in my inventory, my money. It's just one more. Shut up, 1 gil. Shut up. There's also been a change in the quest. They are. There's been a change in the quest required to reach the 2nd lieutenant rank in your grand company. What's going on there? So you have to run Amdapur Keep at level 50 for this rank, but now you can get it at level 47, and you need to run Aurum Vale instead. It's a pretty big switch up here. What's the deal here? It's a big change.
Well, I think this needed to be done because of all the dungeons in the game. There's a lot of dungeons that are optional from the main storyline. I feel like Aurum Vale was by far the most optional of them all. by the time you're 47, you're on the final stretch of the story. There's really no reason to visit the dungeon. You've already picked up most of your artifact gear. You're about to pick up your final piece. The only thing you could really get from there is maybe some jewelry. They're giving the dungeon a purpose other than a mapping achievement, as far as I'm concerned, and a minion. So I think overall it's a good change just to regulate the content that you do. Give that dungeon a purpose.
Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about Omnivore Keep, because
I think there's a second piece of that, though, and not too much, but there's the piece of, can we alleviate traffic for the keep a little bit in any way, shape, or form? And in addition to stabilizing servers, adding servers, things like that, which they did also do, this funnels some traffic needlessly away from the keep to a different instance that doesn't have that traffic right now. And to be honest, it funnels people that, for the most part, probably aren't ready to run the keep yet, right? You know, they've just hit 70 and are like, oh, okay, well, now I can do that quest to go ahead and get my second lieutenant rank, and maybe don't have a piece of gear or two from Wanderer's Palace and are ready for the keep. So it's more appropriate for them, but alleviates a little traffic, too. Actually, I think it's a really smart move.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't. It's been too early to kind of tell, but so you think traffic's going to get better then, as far as like all this thing? Because it's like you said, I mean, they're pushing less people into the instance. They increase the servers and the stability, so this should be a win-win all around.
All insta QA case today, so at all times throughout the day. So far that's looking good. Wait till next Monday though. That's when it'll be the real test. Monday at 11 a.m.
Sure, but that's a good sign. You got an Instapops? Hey, that's a good sign. Okay, good. So at least they're making some changes there. Airships and ferries got cheaper. Chocobo Porters did not. On the flip side of the Gil coin for late game instances, now Gil is dropping from enemies as well. So
it's like, whoa, hey, we're gonna give you some Gil and take less. The price, I didn't check ferries. Maybe you know, Mr. H, but the airship used to be 200 gil. Now it's 120. So it was a 40% reduction. I would assume ferries is probably the same. We used to be 100.
I've never used the ferry, so I don't know. It was 100 and like
I'm such a cheap bastard.
It's 4. Somebody says it's 40 now.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know if that's for real or not, but that might also be answering the other guild question.
Well, that might be the case if they saw a lot of not many people actually utilizing it. Maybe it's an enticement to actually make the savings a lot greater. So, I mean, do you think so? Are we starting to see now? Because we were talking about this whole economy thing in the past few weeks. I mean, do you think we're starting to see some tweaking to gold sinks versus gold fountain, like we speculated a few weeks ago? I mean,
yeah, we are pretty awesome in the speculating. We're terrible at picking dates on when things will happen.
Saturday.
Except for transfers. I got that one right, but everything else we've totally foobarred. But yeah, I think we're starting to see that with not only the price changes, but then especially the monsters in level 50 dungeons now dropping gil, and not 1 or 8 gil. I mean, they're substantial drops, so there's actually a benefit to killing trash now. Which is something Square Enix said they wanted to do, was give a benefit and a reason to kill trash.
I don't know how I feel about those words coming out of your mouth, but I'm going to move on.
Why? What?
I don't know.
No, go ahead.
He wants to kill the trash, and I don't think he wants to kill the trash no matter what.
I ain't killing trash. Just give me an incentive to do it.
Come on.
Listen, it's like 50 gil a drop. I'll tell you this.
It is.
Even with speedrunning, it at least pays for the tank's bills.
Yeah, and that was the biggest part. I mean, there were people running into not being able to pay for their own damn repairs.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So, all right, well, let's see. Hopefully, I guess now I would assume that they're probably going to let some
with trash. Gary's like, I don't like trash, and I'm never using the duty finder.
Never. Friends don't let friends pug. Coming to a Game Breaker Nation shirt near you. Making it.
I want that shirt right now.
Here's a change, big change that I think a lot of people were waiting for, Mr. Byrne. Tomestone drops have been increased in Amdapor Keep and Wanderer's Palace. So Tomestones of Mythology drops have also increased in Amdapor Keep, Wanderer's Palace, and the hard mode Garuda and Titan fights. So Mr. Happy, you seem happy about this. I'll start with you. I mean, what do you think here?
I think that it's a good motivation to get people out of harassing people doing cash tournament treatment. It's a start, at least. I mean, now I've just become more worried about if there's going to be enough people queuing up for cash tournament Praetorium to really get those queues going quick enough. But overall, good change, especially Mythology to Wanderer's Palace. It's slightly less, but considering the difficulty is also just slightly less, it seems fair enough. At least they both drop the same amount of philosophy points. The Mythology points being from there. So let's say next Monday, Ep12 Keep does have a reserving instance timer. Worst case scenario, you now have another place to go. Instead of waiting 30 minutes to reserve an instance to do Ep12 Keep, you can now just go to Wanderer's Palace. Get the points there. You can even spam Garuda and Titan now if you have the resources to do that for Mythology points. Only increase those ones slightly, but they're much more round, even numbers now.
So do you think, I mean, looking at everything that they've done here, so they've changed the drop rates, they've funneled less people into the instance, they've increased the servers and stability. So has Ep12 Keep kind of received the love that you guys think it actually needed? I mean, is that enough?
Yeah. I'm okay with where the keep is now, provided the queues continue to be relatively short. I know I'm going to have a longer one since I'm predominantly DPS. Yes, I know. But as long as I'm not waiting an hour and 20 minutes and 50 of those is actually waiting for the instance to reserve, then yes, I'm happy with where the keep's gone. Obviously, having more places to get tomestones from is awesome. And in future updates, when we get the random queue ability to gather some tomestones that way too, that's just going to help alleviate, give you more options, and funnel people to all instances rather than just the level 50 ones. Yes, very happy with where the keep is right now. We'll see on Monday if that's a for sure answer, but as of right now, yes.
What do you think, Happy?
I think it's good. Like I said, I had insta-queues all day today, and a lot of people couldn't cap out the Mythology on Monday, not just because of the maintenance, just because there were still reserving instance timers. And a lot of people were waiting for today, waiting for the Mythology changes to see how they played out, and I'm assuming there was still really high traffic today, and I had no queue timers. The whole day went very, very smooth. So I'm happy, at least for the time being. We'll wait till next Monday to test it for real.
Next show, we will follow up. So now there's also been some changes to gathering points and spawn points for farming materials, but the big news on the gathering
every
front,
update, Mr. Happy does this. Yes.
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 Lots of good changes.
Gary goes to the next change. Mr. Happy. Yes.
The big news here on the gathering front is that botanists and miners now get higher XP for gathering leave quests.
Woohoo! Thank God.
A lot more.
A lot more. This was just needed. They could not overlook this one, right?
Let's just say this. The only leaves I tested were level 20 leaves. And a quest that previously gave 2,500 EXP gave 6,800.
Wow. That's a big increase.
Yeah, and there are certain leaves from gathering that can give you like a 25% bonus. Those ones were approaching 8 to 9K at that level.
So that's going to help the leveling curve quite a bit then.
Yeah, it means that I'm going to get undercut on the markets a lot more in the coming week. A lot more miners and botanists at 50.
Here's a question, though. Would they have had to have done this if fishing wasn't so fast, do you think?
No, absolutely not. Fishing was slower? No. But fishing is
and I think that's
fast.
like a legit question. It's a funny one, but it is a legit one. You had 3 gathering professions. One of them you could level from 1 through 50 in like 2 sittings. The other 2, you had to bang your face against a brick wall if you wanted to get them to 50. Did those 2 have to be changed if the first one wasn't so damn fast? I don't think they did. But I'm glad it all happened the way it happened now, because this is a hell of a way to do it. So much easier. And it's not as grindy as it used to be. Thank you.
All right, this last one here, I need some help on this one. Help me understand this change. So it says that unused gear will now be bound to a character after engaging in battle, crafting, or gathering even once, regardless of item level. Was there an issue
I got you
here?
on this one, Gary.
Was there an issue here?
Yes, there was actually.
There was a big issue here.
Obviously.
Now there are item level 70 crafted pieces. For those of you who may not understand the item level, it's basically how to scale a piece of gear past level 50. make it stronger and indicate its strength past level 50. Item level 70 gear that could be crafted would not become bound to you until you stepped into the binding coil. So what people were doing is they were investing in these pieces, getting their gear to get up the coil, and then selling them back on the market. So they weren't getting destroyed, they weren't getting bound, and there's way too many of them on the marketplace. So
I call that an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Now, I still think I haven't checked. Obviously, I'm not going to just go buy an item level 70 piece to test this, but I think it becomes bound to you. I still think you need to spear bind it in the binding coil, though. I think it might become bound to you outside. But you can't actually get it to 100% spear. I haven't tested that, but that's how I believe it should work.
Gary was like, I believe that falls under clever use of game mechanics.
That's a business right there. That's what I see. I see a business. Any other changes before we move on? There's a ton of stuff here. We can't go through it all.
Yeah,
I mean, check out the write-up on xivnation.com. Go over there. It's up. All the details, the bug fixes, everything we couldn't go over here on the show this week. But anything else you guys want to add or bring up before we kind of move on here? Because there's so much. They really knocked it out of the park, though.
Two big ones. One, they fixed pet controls for scholars and summoners. You can now command your pets to do abilities while you are casting spells. You couldn't do that before. You had to wait till you were not casting a spell, you weren't on the global cooldown, and then you could command it. Now you can do it freely. You can move them, you can give them commands. Raises the amount of healing that they do and damage they do quite a lot. The other one wasn't even in the patch notes, Gary, but they did it anyway. You remember did we talk about a fate called Dark
He's
Devices?
so bitter. He is so bitter about this.
Wait, what did you say? I missed it. What were you talking about? What?
Dark Devices is a high-level fate that people use to level. They ninja fixed it. Before, it had monsters that would infinitely spawn, and people would just grind those while the fate was going on, and then finish it right before it was over. Those mobs do not infinitely spawn anymore. They do stop spawning after they are killed. And I know there's a lot of gripe with this. I personally don't have that as big a deal as Mr. Byrne does. I have a gripe with the fact that it didn't tell us that it did.
Oh, come on. This to me needed to be fixed a while ago. We talked about it multiple shows ago where I even seem to remember making the comment that Fate's overall the experience probably isn't going to be nerfed. There was a viewer question that said, should it be? And I said, no, they shouldn't. However, there are one or two Fates that will likely be receiving a tweak very shortly. And this was one of the 2 or 3 Fates. It just makes sense. You weren't meant to actually farm one Fate for 15 minutes like that.
But see, now here comes the question. There are other Fates you can do that with. Dark Devices is far from being the only one. Are they going to give those ones attention? Because any quest where you have to gather items and hand them in, you could just do those for 14 minutes and then hand in the items in the last minute. Are those going to be receiving the same attention Dark Devices did when people start realizing that you can do that on those as well? That's what I'm waiting to see, if they give it to that attention to more leaves where those types of things are possibilities.
I guess this means that I guess this means, Gary, we are going to have to do a 30 through 50 Fate leveling guide. The 1 through 30.
I can't wait. Yes.
People are really digging that 1 through 30, and now that Dark Devices isn't 30 through 50 was just going to be 30 seconds of go do Dark Devices, done, video over. Now I think we actually have to put together another guide. Chat, thank you. That's very nice of you, saying very good video. Thank you.
Mordona versus Northern Thanalan. We got to see which ones play out in which way.
The only other thing in the patch notes I liked jammed in there, like in the middle, was walnut bread no longer available from the NPC in Drybone.
My walnut bread.
No.
I love walnut bread.
All right, I want to talk about this unbelievably amazing PvP trailer that Square Enix dropped at New York Comic Con. But first, I want to tell you guys about Shutterstock. We got a great deal going on Shutterstock. Love having Shutterstock on as sponsors for Game Breaker and making this show possible. I want to save you guys 25% off on your account. It's for new accounts only. All you got to do is make sure to use the promo code GameBreaker10 on checkout. You immediately save 25% off. I love showing you guys how we use Shutterstock. So hopefully, I think it gives you guys some ideas about how you can use it for your website, your guild website, your YouTube page, your video content on YouTube, whatever. Because they've got all kinds of vector artwork, stock photography, video footage for B-roll, all kinds of stuff. You hear me talking a lot about the Gamebreaker Nation, and we've been working a lot on that. And one of the things we were working on over the weekend was the logo. Obviously we have the Gamebreaker logo, but we do this little like modifier thing to all the websites where we modify the logo. And we wanted to come up with something for the Gamebreaker Nation. So we actually put together, I think about 6 different logos with these little modifiers. And I can tell you first off, right off the bat, all of these modifiers all came from Shutterstock. Every single one of them. We got the lion, this dragon, this griffin, this fist, a knight, and then a helmet, a knight and a helmet. So those were like the, I guess 6, I think it's 6. Yeah, those are about the 6 options that we came up with. Every single one of those modifiers, all that artwork came from Shutterstock. We didn't have anything custom, didn't hire an artist, nothing like that. Went over to Shutterstock. I think, I typed in dragon, and then look how perfect that came up with the box and everything. It was like screaming at us. It was just like, oh my God, that looks like a Gamebreaker logo with a dragon in front of it. Boom. So that one became one of them. Typed in like things like heraldry, knights, helmets, things like that. All kinds of vector artwork came up. And then we created these things, a light box. You can see down here, you click this little like light box and you create something, and you create a light box. I'm not signed in right now. And then you save all your images, and we kind of look through them all and created a bunch of different logos and stuff. And then you guys actually voted on this. It's actually kind of cool. So we put this up on the forums. We let the community vote on the next logo. The dragon won, by the way. That is the
It was
new.
Close.
It wasn't even close. It was like 50% of the votes were for dragon. So the dragon is the Gamebreaker Nation logo for the website that is in the works. But that is just another example of how we use that. And I could tell you, all of those logos were kind of, with being able to pull that stuff from Shutterstock, put those together in maybe 3 hours, 3 hours, just finding them and adding them and stuff like that. If you had to get 6 different logos put together by an artist and things like that, could they've done a better job? Possibly, like logo designers are pretty good, but they're also really expensive. And Shutterstock has different packages to meet all different kinds of budgets. So they've got like the monthly plan, which we use here at Gamebreaker, where we can download X number of images per day. But they've also even got packages where you can download like 2 images at a time, things like that. I think it starts like $29. So there are packages for all of you out there, believe me. And I want to save you 25% off on your account. All you got to do after you make your free account, you don't even need a credit card to make your account. Just go over, make an account free, start searching stuff, saving it. And when you're ready, just use promo code GameBreaker10. You're immediately going to save 25% off on your account. So get your guild website spruced up, your YouTube page, all that good stuff. Make it look like a pro. Pro. All right, so Square Enix was at New York Comic Con. Do you feel my enthusiasm? Just
see, now I knew you were going to do this because 2.05 there's some flaws in it, right? Okay, fine, but for the most part, was a really good patch in my opinion. They did a lot of good stuff.
They did.
There's a lot of good things there, and so I was like, let's lead off the show with that. We'll talk about that first. We'll roll through a bunch of cool things, but then we got to talk about PvP because they did drop a new video. But damn it, I don't really want Gary to watch this video.
Gary,
correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time we've actually seen characters engaged in player versus player, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So we already know that the Wolves Den is a 4v4 team battle. But what else can we take away from the video? This video.
We can take away that bards are going to 1v1 black mages standing perfectly still.
Kind of looks like a circle room.
Very, very, very cinematic.
Now I'm just watching this character fire off.
See, Gary, that's actually you playing as the warrior, and you're looking at the paladin.
Oh, I get it. POV. Yeah, good.
POV and PvP.
Gotcha.
And this is one of the healers circling around right now in first person mode.
How you guys talking? Is there? I don't mean to be Debbie Downer here, but is anybody impressed by this? Is anybody like really like, holy shit, this is amazing? I'm looking forward to this.
And I feel like they went too much for the cinematic approach and not for the, hey, this looks like people are actually PvPing approach. It's like, I was like, none of these things are ever going to happen in a real match. Come on. Get your people that work at Square Enix. Just get 8 random people who maybe work on a different game and just get them PvP and throw them in. How's this even going to work? I mean, so since it's 4v4, like, is it just going to throw together a group based on level or what?
Well, we know that there is going to be bracketing for levels 30s, 40s, and then ultimately the 50 brackets. So we know that's going to be the case. We know that you can pre-make a group and head on down to Wolf's Den, or you can use the Duty Finder, but pre-mades will only be against pre-mades. Random Duty Finder people will be against random Duty Finder people. Here's my biggest thing on the video here, and if you could cue that up and go to like 30 seconds, right around in there, and just still shot it of the party of 4. Now, this could totally be coincidental, but right there, that image there, that basically shows you that the PvP, at least in that party, is made up of 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS, like every Duty Finder dungeon group ever, which, if that's the case...
Isn't that how you PvP? Isn't that how you PvP? Just same way you do it?
If that's the case, I have a huge problem with the way that's designed. My favorite comment on the first place I saw this video and saw comments enabled, my favorite comment was the first one, which was, okay, so kill the healer? And that's basically what it boils down to. It looks like a chess match to me, where everybody's standing around, targeting certain people, and I don't... If it is, in fact, tank, 2 DPS and heal, and 1 heal, I really don't like the way that that's comprised for PvP. It doesn't make sense to have a PvE build party in a PvP match.
You know what I was thinking when I saw this video? I was like, so DPS queues are going to be just as bad here?
Yeah, they're going to be just as bad.
That's what I was thinking when I saw that setup. If that's how it actually is.
Do we have
and obviously, that's just speculation going...
I'll tell you this. In Beta Phase 4, it was... in Beta Phase 4, it was not like that. It was just 4 random people with no regulation to it at all. So you get no healers or you get 4 healers.
Right, but that's... Beta Phase 4 is a hard gauge, though, because they told you going into that beta phase, hey, Legacy players, this is totally broken. We just want you to go hit each other. And we're going to compute a bunch of stats in the background. I mean, you couldn't break sleep or anything. If you got slept in that PvP, you were dead. That was the end of the match for you.
Bottom line.
Do we know anything else about like this bracketing or how the matchmaking works at all? So like you said, they said that there would be a 30, 40, and 50 brackets.
Right.
Anything else to pick teams? Like any other info? Nothing?
Just pre-made versus pre-made, random versus random. That's all we
All right,
know.
so what do you guys honestly think about this video? I mean, we've all been kind of split on PvP in the previous shows. Before I even saw this video, I just kind of had the feeling of like, why even do it? It's like, this game is just a PvE game and it does it really well. Like, this does not sort of give me any sort of like confidence in the fact that the PvP is going to be good. And I think if the PvP sucks, it's just going to be like, it's just going to open up a can of worms of people being angry. Because you know what gamers are going to do. You're wasting time. Developers could be making me a better instance in a raid, and you're wasting time on this PvP stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
And there's, I think, a big argument for that. I mean, there used to be that argument for... the Old Republic for the longest time, right? And now they're kind of headed in a place, especially with the galactic combat stuff, that people are kind of happy with where the PvP is going. But I think it's a bit of a different can of worms on this side because of this is a PvE game. You said it. First and foremost, this game's all about the PvE. I don't think the core base of players for this game even cares if PvP is there. If it's
there, my feeling.
Yes, if it's there, maybe like me, I'm going to go and try it a few times just so I can speak intelligently about it, and because it's there for me to try. But I'm not actively, eagerly awaiting PvP, and this video certainly didn't help that to any great extent. And this is only the small PvP version. We still have to look forward to Frontlines, which is the 10v10, faction stuff. I know Yoshi P loves PvP, but I just more and more I keep leaning more and more towards this game just isn't built for it. So maybe we shouldn't spend money there. That's such a Debbie Downer thing to say, isn't it?
No, I agree with you. It just watching this, I gotta say, I get the same feeling I did from the early videos though, from beta videos when they even there's just a lot of standing around, which it just looks it doesn't look like. It doesn't get me excited at all.
They're way too cinematic about some of their trailers. They need to just stop worrying about how everything looks and how easily telegraphed it is in the video and make it look like real people who are playing a real match with no sort of regulation behind them. Winner takes all. They don't need to show off a limit break. They don't need to show off first-person cameras of getting hit by a paladin. They don't need those things. They just need the Lightning Returns trailer. Even though it had a guy talking over it, explaining everything, it was him just playing the game. Perfect example, in my opinion, of just show the game how it's supposed to be played and not how you want to show it off in the trailer. That's the big thing that put me off about the trailer. PvP, reserving judgment till 2.1, but the trailer was not thrilled for it at all.
P, I mean, what do you think? Do you think the Final Fantasy community? Do you think that there's a lot of people really waiting with bated breath for PvP in this game?
15% tops.
15? I know you're just throwing numbers out there and we don't have any scientific data to back
this up. Obviously,
it definitely feels like there's just not really that many people who are excited about this. And I just would leave it out. I think it's okay to have the game as just a PvE game. Just let it live.
And it could totally, we could totally be wrong, right? The trailer could just not be very well done, and that's what it all boils down to. In this case, I don't think any of us disagrees that the trailer just wasn't all that impressive. It didn't showcase anything that made you want to experience what was going on in the trailer. So that being said, that's the only thing we know for sure. The trailer wasn't all that great.
Do you guys really think that in this day and age,
maybe it could be good?
But do you think that games do you think an MMO this game's already launched. I mean, do you guys think is it okay for an MMO in 2013 to just not have PvP and just be a PvE experience? Is that okay? Can we do that?
I absolutely think it is, and I know why they're not, right? We want to appeal to a bigger audience. And there's people in chat saying if you don't like PvP, don't do it. It's not an issue of not liking PvP or not. It's an issue of I'm not going to do PvP because I'm not a PvP guy, and Gary, who is a PvP guy, thinks the PvP sucks. So both of us don't like it if it's not done well. If it can't be done well, don't do it. You already have the PvE side of things that you do well.
None of us have experienced it. So again, we're kind of giving it a lot of stick and saying we're guessing. But I got to say, from this video, which we're going to pick apart to pieces because you've given it to us and we don't have anything else to look at, we're going to dissect it the way we see it. That's just how it is. So again, if I think talk about what P was saying, he's right. It's if for some reason, if the PvP actually is very engaging and exciting and fun and fast, you need to just shoot it that way and put out a video that kind of conveys that and not do all this cinematic bullshit of just flame, sparkles and POV stuff. I'm a PvPer. I know what it looks like. I know what fun looks like. You can kind of tell a lot from a video. You got to show it. And this does not show it. I don't even, I hope they scrap the PvP. To be honest,
they're not going to. I mean, Yoshi P loves it. It's too far along, and that's fine. But if there comes a point where
I'll go play a PvP game,
at least be willing to look at it, and if it's not performing well, cut back on future enhancements for it.
I'll tell you what. If it does well, though, I'm going for that high rank in the ladder. I promise you that. if it is fun and engaging, I'm going for that high rank. Telling you right now, I got my tank right in chat right here. He's ready.
Yoshi P, it'll be okay. You can log into WoW.
Just make it turn-based.
There you go.
Just make it turn-based.
There are other games that do PvP really well. It's okay. I'm going to move on. Yeah, well, I'm not going to move on. There's one other thing in this video that kind of disappoints me. So if you actually look here in the info on the YouTube video, it says special PvP only actions grant immediate recovery from sleep, bind, and other enfeeble effects, guaranteeing these gladiatorial battles will be extremely action-packed. Wolves Den opens for 4v4 player combat this winter. So what does that mean? What do you guys take away from this? Is that special skill for PvP? We were kind of excited about it.
Yeah, it's pretty much the standard PvP ability that's been implemented in every MMO in one way or another, whether it's a skill or through an item. It's basically the get out of jail free card for a short time. And what it says actions is what interests me. But they all seem to describe sleep, bind, and other enfeeblement effects. Does that mean we're going to have a different action for every single enfeeblement to break it? And then on top of that, diminishing returns. For example, if you get stunned 3 times in a row, the duration goes down if it's too quickly. I'm wondering how all of that's going to play, or if there's going to be other PvP-specific abilities. I can pretty much say with the utmost, I'm just sure everyone's going to have the same PvP abilities.
Yeah, and we talked about that on a previous show too, where are we talking new abilities, like a ton of new abilities that are PvP only, and that's kind of what Mr. Happy was hoping for on my side of the board. I thought they're referring to the crowd control break being the ability. I don't think we're going to see full resets of tons, 5, 6, 7 PvP abilities per class. I really just think, and this paragraph kind of alludes to, we're just talking about special PvP abilities that are made for crowd control break. And I think the S, if I'm being a little on it, I think the S for plural just probably means that each class or each advanced job will have a different version of this ability, not multiple abilities per class.
What would you guys say to the release date? It says winter of 2013, and this is supposed to be part of the Super Patch 2.1. So what do you think? Winter starts, I guess technically you could say winter starts, what, December 21st? So yep. Are we waiting that long till patch 2.1?
December 21st, the day of.
You know what? We're just going to keep using the meme. Just keep using it.
It's already there. It's already loaded up. Why not?
What do you think? December 21st?
I hope not. That seems to be a long time from now for what's in
Live
the game.
letter on the 19th.
Yeah. Lightning Fate in mid-November.
And also we have Dragon Quest and Shintono
yes.
before in December as well, before the end of the year. I mean, up until now, the only date they've given us is before the end of the year, and this is the next closest thing we've gotten is a more narrow winter release date. They could just be generalizing all of December as winter, but I'm more inclined to believe that the first day of winter will actually be what the patch is, which is just in time for the holidays, because that's when everybody comes home and their responsibilities are done for a few days, so they can hop on PvP, assuming they don't have a family or anything to go visit for Christmas.
Merry Christmas, log on and play some PvP chess.
Exactly. There you
Burn
go.
the healer. Done. All right. Server transfers. So we talked a little bit about the hiccups earlier in the show and the what's going on there, and it's not really working yet. But I want to talk about the restrictions a little bit. So there are quite a few restrictions for server transfers. The super good news is that they'll be running for free once they are running. They're going to actually be running for 7 days, not 5, correct?
Correct. And so that might be reevaluated.
Well, let's hope they're going to be for 7 days, not 5. We don't know yet since it was supposed to already be live and they're not. But I don't know. Let's look at some of the rules. So the first off, we can transfer more than one character at a time, correct?
Yes, you can do that as long as you are transferring all characters to the same world.
Okay.
You can't do any type of split that sends people to different places or brings multiple accounts, characters to the same world. They all got to start in the same place.
They all got to go to the same place.
the same.
All right, makes sense. Now, how about any rules about what servers we can actually go to and move to?
Yup. Kind of defeats the point, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like, oh, we're gonna let you server transfer, but you're only allowed to go here, or you can't go there. No, sorry.
Well, I mean, and the big part of this is the character creation limits on some servers. For the most part, the NAEU servers don't have too much of that going on anymore. They still do occasionally, so check the lists for the X's and O's on your update screens. But for the most part, if you wait a little bit, most servers have character creations. The people that get shanked here aren't the me's of the world or the Mr. Happies of the world. The people that get shanked the most are the me's of the world that created on a legacy server because that was the only server open at the time when I got the game. But now I'm lumped in with the Mr. Happies of the world and can't get off of the legacy server unless I want to go to another legacy server, even though I'm not a legacy player. Those players kind of get screwed in this whole mix.
So a little bit. All right. So here's the bullet list for you. So to transfer, you have to leave your free company.
Yep.
And only 3 million gil on your character and 1 million per retainer will transfer. So anything over that is gone. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Putting
pointless.
a cap.
Really?
There's a very good reason why it's pointless. It's, in theory, great because you don't want to just completely take half of one server's economy because you're the richest guy there and move it over to another one. But, and I hate to be the one to say it on stream, there's already a way around that, and you can't even really do it yet. And that's to simply buy a bunch of expensive items, or turn all your gil into items that sell well on the other server, bring the items with you, and then sell them when you get to the new server. There's already a way around that. So I don't know that it's quite creating. The only difference is that you can only dig from the new server's funds, but it's still sort of a way around that cap. So I don't know if that's really going to work exactly as they're intended.
Yeah, I mean, 3 million on your character, 1 million per retainer. That's a 5 million total that you could take with you. There's going to be some people that pisses off, but I think for the most part that cap's fine.
Here's the big question: are there going to be 9 websites that you have to jump through to make this happen? No, sorry.
I'm staying still, so I don't want to find out the hard way.
No, actually, so check this out. This is something I think everybody needs to pay attention to. Square says they expect a lot of people to be taking transfers. They're advertising on the website here that they're putting this in print that your transfer could take, get this, a few days.
Moment of silence for days.
Yeah, I'll just let that sink in. I don't know. That just seems like we're not used to that. Like every other MMO has the technology to do this like really quickly and pretty much instant.
And to be fair, right?
Days?
I mean, this is one of those things where the service could be instant, but they can't say this is going to be an instant. You know, there are people that have already been able to transfer through some miracle of when they click the buttons, that it has happened pretty quickly on. But I don't take umbrage with them saying a few days here because of the sheer amount of transfers that they have brought upon themselves by the server issues at launch. So it's a self-inflicted wound, and I'm okay with saying days. It sucks on the player side, though, and now that subscriptions are due, is there going to be some compensation?
Correct me if I'm wrong. You can't even log in.
2 or 3 days.
You can't log into your account at all.
Yeah,
correct.
You're done.
Like you can't. Not even just your character. You can't. The entire account goes on lockdown until this is completed.
Yep.
Yes, sir, it does.
And again, most of them will probably be pretty quickly, but they are acknowledging it could, not will, guys, could take days.
Why do I have like the gut wrenching like nightmare of just like your account just never comes back online? Like you can't even lie, like nothing, and you're just like I'm in limbo. And like I don't know.
Or there's the situation. Somebody put it on the forums of what if I queue up for a transfer to a world, and in the process of transferring, that world becomes full and can no longer accept people. And it won't let me go back to my original server because enough people have transferred to that one that it's now too full. Like, what happened? It was like everybody on Square Enix's forums was like, okay, how could this possibly break? We need to plan it now because it probably will. It was awful. We'll see. I'm not transferring, though, so...
Those are the big what-ifs if you're going to transfer. Other than that, it's pretty much the usual stuff. Change your name, characters, your retainer, stuff like that. A lot of people asking about the Game Breaker Nation as far as, transfers go and things like that. We are on the Behemoth server, non-legacy. It's usually open for character creation pretty much lately. I don't think there's been too many restrictions on that. So if you're looking to join the Game Breaker Nation, join us there on Behemoth, and we'll have some more info on that. There are some official posts on xivnation.com, the forums over there. They give out Burns' name, Justin Kennedy's name in game, so you can pester those guys for invites and all that for the free company. And Link Shell, they will be very happy with that.
Chat saying they're actually giving us free transfers so they could test the service before they pay for it. No. They're
giving it because
I am a
forced onto
Square Enix
servers.
fanboy to the core, and even I can't go along with that. They're giving us free transfers because they done screwed up the launch where you could create your character. Enough said.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I want to do some viewer questions. Before I do, I want to tell you guys about a great deal we got going on with Audible. Love having Audible on as a sponsor in Game Breaker. I have been a long-time subscriber, long before they were sponsors, so I'm super happy to have. I love having products that I use in real life, long before I ever did this show in Game Breaker as sponsors. And Audible is one of those. I've been a subscriber for, like 6 years, I think I've been a subscriber. It's audiobooks on your iPhone or your Android device. All you got to do is go over to audible.com/gamebreaker, sign up today, make an account, and I want to hook you guys up with a free 30-day trial of Audible, and I'm going to get you guys one free audiobook as well just by using the URL audible.com/gamebreaker. Hey, you guys H.G. Wells fans? You War of the Worlds fans? I feel like
War of the Worlds, baby.
Right? I kind of like this one.
Radio show created some controversy back in its day.
Yeah, this is a great one. If you've never checked it out, check out War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. This one clocks in at like 6 hours. Yeah, I remember listening to this as a kid, and the radio show is just fantastic. So this is a science fiction classic, and you can be downloading this one absolutely free right now, just by signing up audible.com/gamebreaker. Like I said, download that bad boy, the iOS device, and just start downloading today. So audible.com/gamebreaker. All right, so we're gonna do some viewer questions, but I teased at the top of the show we're gonna do something fun. We're gonna do some viewer questions, but I'll tell everybody right now. So in the chat room live, I threw out our Mumble server info for the Game Breaker Nation. That was the only way to get it. I'm actually not giving it here again, so you got to show up for the live show until we fully.
And
open.
Everybody logged into Mumble and then muted themselves. They're just taking up slots right now.
Yeah, wait, why is everybody muted? Hey, unmute. I want to hear everybody yell. How many people are in here? I want everybody. Hey. Wait, that's the show. Hang on. Whoa, let me jump in here. Hang on. Oh, everybody's. Hello.
Hello, Gary. What's going on, Gary? Gary.
So there's the Game Breaker Nation. There's a lot more. They're all muted. They're being shy. But I threw out the Mumble info. There's like, I don't know, 50, 60 people in there probably right now. Here's what we're going to do. So I'm going to do these viewer questions. We've got a stream team going on with the Game Breaker Nation officers and the event coordinators. And to kind of start rolling that out and get you guys used to it, we're going to have a little fun. So right after the show on Behemoth, there's going to be a stream team GB Nation Costa del Sol beach party on Behemoth. So get your swimsuits on, get your asses over there, soak up some sun. We're just going to all hang out. There's a bunch of people running around, and it's going to be streamed, And this is another Twitch channel for the stream team, and it's twitch.tv/GB Nation. GB Nation. That's our other channel for the live streaming stuff. So, and here it goes. I'm watching it as we're looking at this, and I see people showing up. So there you go. Twitch.tv/GB Nation. Post show. Everybody's going to dump into the Mumble channel and hang out over there. All right. First up, video question. Love video questions. Thank you for sending a video question from Pittsburgh Gamer.
As Smart's the Pittsburgh Gamer here with another Final Fantasy Realm Reborn question for y'all. Regarding free company actions, what ones do you guys keep up in your FC, or maybe the ones that you're in? I know for mine, I keep up the Heat of Battle. Wasn't sure what the one that everyone kept up was. I haven't really asked around, but I figured this would be the perfect place to do that. Was just curious. Also, Gary, I seen you posting on Twitter the other day. Keep that Chihuahua in check, brother. Keep him in check.
I will.
Thanks, guys.
I know. Just going into heat. My
that
Chihuahua.
was bizarre. Like, I've never seen a tweet tell me exactly what the video was going to be, and my brain say, you really don't want to watch that, but my fingers say, you're going to, and click on it.
We rescued a Chihuahua. I've got an English Bulldog, and we brought the Chihuahua back to really good health, and now she's going into heat, and she just decides to hump my Bulldog's face from time to time, and so
Solid.
Search for that. All right, Mr. Byrne, what do you think?
He's right. The 5% experienced boost. I'm a big fan of the action, I forget the name of it off the top of my head, that also reduces teleporting cost as well. Reduce rates. Is that what it's called? Reduce rates?
It's called reduce rates.
Wow. But yeah, so I'm a fan of that one too. But for the most part, it's the experience, combat experience one.
Mr. Byrne?
I am Mr. Byrne.
Oh, Mr. P. Sorry.
2 words. Reduced rates. Only one I care about.
Everybody loves cheaper teleports.
Heidi Jackson Todd says, we need more items that can be colored, especially end game gear. I get that we can't do the AF or AF2 gear, but come on, everyone looks the same. Why even have dye if we can't use it on half the items in the game? I completely agree with this. Remember, Bern, I had this like sort of concern like from level 1. I was like, everybody looks the same. Is this going to happen later on in the game? And yes.
Yep, and we talked about it on Twemo Friday about another MMO that's coming out next year saying we're going to have a ton of gear, we're going to have a ton of gear, we're going to have a ton of gear in different styles at different levels and this and this and this. And of course, Final Fantasy came up in that conversation as well. I totally agree. And in fact, I would even take it a step further. Give me any colors. Let me make the decision. We argued about this one already, but I would even be in favor of dyeing the AF artifact and the Artifact 2 gear if you really, really want to. Why not? Why is there gear that I can't dye? What is the point there? I get some of it's the iconic Final Fantasy look, but so what? Let me color them and dye them the way I want to. Ugh.
Don't
Mr.
ever
P.
hand me a piece of gear and ask me to color it, because you will get a disaster. I am one of the rarest kinds of colorblind, and it does not look well. Ask anyone in my free company or look at my Twitter in the past week. I am a colorful mess right now. And I only have one piece that can be dyed, and it's already a disaster. If you give me any more than that, it's just going to go downhill from there.
Yeah, and the game doesn't even allow you to go crazy with patterns or anything like that. We're talking about drop a solid color onto a piece of gear. Why can't I do that with every piece? It's just an absurd limitation.
All right, next up from Chunko Latte from Twitter wants to know, what is or how do you get the +1 gear? I haven't made it that far, apparently, to get these. Mr. P, you want to enlighten us?
Well, I wasn't exactly sure if it meant things along the lines of the Relic +1 and the Artifact 2 gear, which you gain from Mythology Tomes once you've acquired either your Relic or enough Mythology Tomes from Amport Wanderer's Palace, or Titan or Bahamut's Spoil, whichever one you want to do. Or if he was talking about normal high-quality gear. It's just, with the high-quality outline, which is just has to be crafted, and you have to have a positive high-quality rate, and then get lucky unless you have a 100% chance. So if it's about the relic, get your relic, then get 900 mythology points, buy 3 Thavnarian Mists, go to a furnace in the North Shroud somewhere. Or if you're just trying to get your AF2 gear, just get some mythology points, go buy it in Mordona, Revenant's Toll, and you should be alright.
You should be alright.
Totally on top.
That is right after the relic quest, I believe.
It is right after.
That's actually
Matt
the Chimera
Smith
fight.
asks a common question from Facebook this week. He says, I believe since EU and NA players are supposed to get the same ping as each other, they place the data center in Canada. Really, if anything, let's see, put a data center in NA, sir. I don't know. What is this? Will EU get its own data center at some point? They're not going to say, are they? Who knows? Have they said?
They won't even confirm that Canada is where the NA ones are. We only know that from a bunch of our friends on Reddit when the NA data centers went live during beta, pinging the hell out of it to try and get a location, and they pinpointed Montreal and Tokyo. So even officially, we don't have a word there. I don't see the EU getting its own data center in the EU anytime soon, and probably not at all. I mean, you have to have the player base to justify it, and I don't know if Europe's going to get those numbers.
Probably not. Probably not. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. Michael Poveromo, follow him on Twitter at MrHappy1227. And of course, go over to his YouTube channel. Check out all his great Final Fantasy XIV content over there, as well as right here every week. Always a pleasure, sir. Good to see you, and always a pleasure.
Good to see you too, Gary.
Mr. Byrne, follow him on Twitter at MagicMan, MIGSCKMANN1, and right here on XIV as well. Always a pleasure, sir.
Always fun, sir. Always fun.
And you can follow me at Gary Gannon, follow GameBreaker TV, GameBreaker TV. Make sure to go over to xivnation.com, sign up for the forums, GameBreaker Nation, all that jazz. Watch the GBN cast for more GBN updates. And, of course, everybody go on the live show. If you're watching the live show, twitch.tv/GBNation. That will be up and running more and more and more throughout the day, and more days added. So who knows when. Right now, it's just kind of sporadically going live, but the show's over right here, and everybody's jumping over to GameBreaker Nation. So go over twitch.tv/GBNation right now. Go, go, go. Thank you so much for watching the show. We'll be back next week for some more XIV Reborn. Have a great week.